Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of the Like, Click and Share podcast. I'm Darren Winter, and with me today are Gemma Walton and Emma Kraus.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. So if... hello. We've got loads of echoes going in the background.
Is that okay?
Yeah? Do you want to go ahead? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. So if this is your first time listening, I'm Gemma, and we all work in marketing and communications, whether with business owners, freelancers, and we're here to talk you through the latest big topics in marketing and how they can grow your business, whether or not you're a freelancer, a business owner, or just interested in how marketing can help you.
I'm Emma. I'm just always here to say a big thank you for listening to us. We hope you find it helpful and interesting. We'd love to hear any comments or any feedback and questions. You can find us at Duco Digital. You can find us in all the usual places and all social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and now you can watch us on YouTube too. So just search for Duco Digital. All the links for the show are in the show notes. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you can automatically receive each episode.
Fabulous stuff. So the topic today is Christmas for marketers. So although we're in August now, it really isn't that long until the end of the year. And so for many businesses, Christmas is a massive event, huge event that potentially can take over sort of 60, 70% of their take-ins for all their turnover for the whole of the year. But for marketers, it's even more of a big event because of just the amount of organisation and the planning that needs to happen to get the campaigns going. So we're going to talk through today some of the things that you need to be thinking about. If you're thinking just Christmas just too far away, we're going to be telling you why it really isn't too far away, and some of the things you can start thinking about and working on to get ahead of the game. And maybe, you know, you might be able to pick up some additional clients, or if you're a business, you might be able to squeeze in some additional opportunities. If you get yourself organised and get yourself ready, it's amazing how many other things that you can kind of tag on along the way. Whereas if you leave it to the last minute, you're kind of like pushed and you haven't got much chance to kind of take advantage of anything you might see that come along, or you might just miss stuff because you're just too busy and getting head down. So Emma's going to kick us off because Emma's talking to us outside of the podcast, and she's got a good few lists here about kind of the creation of stuff. So Emma, over to you.
No, yeah, absolutely. This is as a small business and as a small business that makes things, this is our 5th or 6th Christmas. I kind of lost count because in the past they've been hellish, but this year they're not going to be because I am so on it. And I really want to help people, and I really want to deliver this podcast because I think this Christmas is so important to many small businesses. This Christmas is really about part of the recovery and people's financial recovery. So it's really important that people can optimize their business as much as they can, because this is such a huge retailing event, and so I really want, if we can share a few tips today that can make that easier for people and make this time more efficient and more profitable, then I hope we've served a good purpose. It is really hard as a small business to kind of get your head around doing things for Christmas in the summer. It's really difficult, but there is so much that you can do in advance that really puts you ahead. I don't want to freak anyone out, but I think Not on the High Street started planning their Christmas in like April. They were asking for submissions, and I know that they had everything for their Christmas campaigns photographed and organised by July. So they're kind of done. I know that, for example, Dunelm, when I was doing some research for this, Dunelm have already launched their Christmas campaigns. And I know that the big buying shows in like Olympia and everything for retail shops, they've happened. So in lots of ways, a lot of people have already got Christmas 2021 stitched up. And so as small businesses, we just need to get ready.
Just a couple of things there. So if anybody doesn't know, and if you're not in the UK, so Not on the High Street is a website for independent businesses. So definitely have a look at that. If you're an independent, is it just for UK businesses? I'm not sure. It's just
Yeah, it's meant to be.
Okay. And then Dunelm is a home interiors business, and they're kind of retail parks across the UK, but pretty big. So definitely have a look at the website to get an idea. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll pass you back.
No, it's good. So I think I would like to ask Gemma for some advice in a second about other digital aspects that you can do. There's clearly some things you can do in terms of your photography and your content creation. You don't want, in your busiest time of making, we start to put in crazy long days. I haven't got time to be doing my social media. I haven't got time to be setting up photo shoots, but I have now. And if I've done that work now in the summer and got all my content ready, you can even write it. You can use a scheduling app to do that. That's all the kind of thing you can be setting up now. Following on, I think, from our podcast about email marketing, and if you haven't listened to that, maybe now's a good time you could do that in prepare. We talked a lot about that, about touch points with your customers and building your relationships and building that confidence, creating a sales funnel. So now that in this time you've got, sort of 4 months to really be working on that. So working on your newsletters, getting people to invest in your story, telling them about why they should purchase for you, and just laying that foundation for that really busy retail period. I think as well, I think, Darren, you're going to talk about some key events. It's not just Christmas. There are different things that you may want to schedule in, like an early bird sale, Black Friday, Christmas, just last minute presents. And then, of course, like your January sale is also part of your Christmas quarter. So this is a bit of a long haul. I don't want to overwhelm anyone, but there's a lot to do. And so the more that you can do to get organised now will really help. I think you want to build on your customer base from last year, review what you did, and have a look how you can improve that. You can use that to set your stock control. Did you sell more of one thing? Another top tip for this year of 2021 is, because of the rise of so much online sales, online delivery and stuff, there's real shortages of lots of things. For example, cardboard boxes. And so now is a really important time to be thinking about your packaging and how you're going to do that, because it would be disastrous to make loads of stuff and not actually be able to get it out. Maybe now is a good time to be reviewing your courier services and your arrangements you have with that kind of thing. So there is a lot to do, and I'm wary of kind of overwhelming anyone, but I just want to do that. And in a minute, we'll come back to talk about how these customers are your customers for life and not just for Christmas, but we'll talk about that. But I really do wonder, Gemma, if you could help me, if you could give me some advice about, I know that I need to change my hashtag strategy now, and I know that I need to be putting in more SEO into all the content that I write in different places that I write it. And I wonder if you could just help us all with a few tips on that, really.
Yeah, I think just quickly before I do that, I know you mentioned like other days of the year and other times, it's not just for Christmas. One website that I use quite a lot to plan campaigns out throughout the year is called Days of the Year, and it literally is just www.daysoftheyear.com, and that covers all like bizarre days, like World Pirate Day, like everything's covered, that's just one that sticks in my head because it comes out I think every September, but it literally covers everything, so you can not only just plan for, I guess, things like Christmas and January sale, Remembrance Day, Easter, things like that, but you can, if you are a business that has something that might match up with some of the more like quirkier days, or if you're a business that might benefit from doing something for like World IP Day or Stationery Week, Stationery Day, things like that. You want to make sure that you've got all your campaigns planned out for then, which is obviously what we're saying now for Christmas. I think obviously with it being July, the most important thing based on what you're saying there, Emma, about like SEO and keywords and stuff, is to look at how your website and social media performed last year. Look at what you did. Again, you'll be looking at products that sold particularly well. You'll be looking at how your email campaigns performed. So you'll be looking at what people searched for to find your site on Google, what product they were searching for that brought the traffic into Google for you. You need to look at those when you're deciding on what products you're going to sell for this year. Looking at your website, is your website ready for Christmas? Have you got the landing pages on there that you need to? Have you looked and got your campaigns planned out? Do you know which keywords people are using in probably September to December? Early on in December, do you know what keywords people used last year to find the products on your site? They're the types of keywords that obviously you want to use again, because they're the types of keywords that people are searching for. Is your website, have you got enough bandwidth capacity for the increased traffic for Christmas? So you want to check that with your website developer to make sure, because you don't want to have this situation, you know, like sometimes when you might be buying concert tickets and you go online and you know that these tickets are coming out at 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and you're there at like 8:58 and you're trying to refresh and you think you're in a queue, you're not in a queue, and the website's crashing, and eventually you get online and it's like 9:20 and everything's sold out. And you don't want to have yourself in a situation like that where you might be running like a Christmas offer, or you might have something that people particularly want, because every year, isn't there, there's like for kids certainly, there's a one Christmas toy, isn't there, that is top of the list that everybody's trying to get. If you were one of the people who sold that toy and everybody's trying to get it, can your website cope with the amount of traffic that it's going to get? So that's one thing that's really important. The other is to make sure that your website is mobile responsive, that everything does look right, that everything does work on a mobile, because you'll probably find that you'll get more traffic from the mobile, because people will be doing Christmas shopping on their lunch break, when they're sat on the train, when they're on the bus, in between things, you know, in between meetings, they'll be looking for Christmas shopping. So is everything ready? Does it work? Your shopping cart, have you optimized your shopping cart? Is it ready for mobile and for desktop? Does it work? Have you gone through all the different touch points? If you're using an email campaign, if you're doing a social media campaign, if you're doing a pay-per-click campaign, have you followed everything through? Does your discount code work? Are you using a discount code? Are you using a Christmas promotion? Some people say that if you use like an exclusive deal for Christmas, that might perform better than having a code that might run for the full amount of time that you've got your Christmas campaign on. But you want to test that, so you maybe want to have when you're doing your Christmas campaign, you maybe want to have 2 different emails, 2 different landing pages if it's just one particular product that you're selling for Christmas, 2 different pay-per-click ads if you're going to do some advertising, having individual landing pages for individual Christmas products if they need to be, or if you just sell 2 or 3 Christmas products, then one landing page might suffice, unless you want to test some different types of traffic, some different types of campaigns. But there's lots of things that you need to do in advance to make sure everything's ready. But I think for keywords, it's certainly looking at what worked last year, and even looking at what people are searching for to find your website now, because when you go into Google Analytics, you can see the top keywords that people are typing in to find your website on search. You can also see what's coming from social media, you can see what's coming from your paid ads as well. But I think now's the time, because you've probably got a little bit of time now to do that research. I think if you sold products through third parties, through like eBay or Etsy, or not on the high street, something like that, have you got everything set up for the customer journey for that, to get the traffic either to that storefront on that site, or that brings you through to your website. So I think it's all about checking and testing to make sure things are ready, and you'll be able to get a lot of good ideas about what's worked and what hasn't worked from previous campaigns. If it's the first time that you've done a campaign, then maybe just do some keyword research. Once you've had a look at what people are finding your website with, having a look at those keywords, but maybe adding some Christmas terms to them, and seeing on it's not keyword planner anymore, is it keyword tool, or I can't remember what it's with. They change it all the time, don't they?
They do, yeah. And Google, you used to be able to do it, didn't you, through the ads platform for free, but now you have to put your credit or debit card on file. And I think somebody told me that I think it was only like you have to put like a pound on or something small just to they can take a deposit, or they know you're going to use the like pay for some ads.
There are some other keyword ones where you're allowed to, I can't remember what this one's called, but I'll get the link and we'll put it in the show notes, but where you're allowed to do 5 free keyword searches every day. So if you're not comfortable with using Google's pay-per-click and ad tool, and you don't want to put in your credit card details to do that, there are a couple of free ones where you either sign up and you can use it for 7 days, or there's this one that I was using last year where you got 5 free searches a day. So we'll get those for you and we'll drop them in the links. Yeah,
there's Uber Suggest, which I use quite a lot. Which I think it's, I don't know what the price is now. I mean, it started off being only about like £10 a month when it first came out, but I think it's now grown to about sort of £40 or pounds a month. But it is very good. It doesn't do everything, like things like SEMrush and Moz, and we're not going to go into a whole SEO talk here, but it does enough. It does more than enough for what we're talking here about.
What we're talking about,
yeah, about like kind of like keyword research, looking at competitors, what keywords they're ranking for. But you can do stuff for free. I mean, just using Instagram, for instance, you can just start typing in, hashtag Christmas, your product. I don't know, if you're talking about, I always keep using sandwiches for some reason, I don't know why, but if I hashtag sandwiches, see what other things it starts to throw up in the hashtag search. And that's the same really as Google. Start typing into Google some of the phrases that you think people might use to find your business, and you'll start finding other searches in there. Then you start typing that in, and then you'll find other phrases, and that'll start throwing up different websites, and you'll start to see the title of blogs and different landing pages which people are using to entice traffic. And it's those types of things that you need to be thinking about in terms of page titles, blog titles, the words then to extrapolate, take out, which means take out from that thing, and then put into your into Instagram, maybe, for instance.
There's that other website as well, Emma. You might want to look at this. There's a website. I think it's best-hashtags.com, and it's the hashtag site that you can use to search for Instagram. And if you put either a keyword in or a hashtag, what it'll do, it will suggest all the best hashtags to use with that one. So with a Christmas campaign or a Christmas item, I would imagine that if you put that item in there, it will suggest. So I've used it to suggest words for like entrepreneur and different things that we've been doing for digital marketing and different campaigns that I've been working on. And it gives you all the ones that are working at the moment, all the ones that people are using. And it is a free tool. So again, we'll drop that link in the show notes.
And just a couple of lines about SEO, that you've got meta titles, you've got meta descriptions. So your meta titles, so your page titles should be about 60 characters. And then your meta descriptions should be about 160 characters. That all includes spaces as well. So you need to definitely sort of think about planning those out. If you've done no SEO before in the past for your website, it's going to be really, unless you've got a lot of traffic coming to your site for any particular reason, it's a bit of a task to start it out. But you have to start from somewhere, and just literally just saying thinking about the purpose of each of the pages, that just kind of helps. If it's a pricing page, then call it pricing, or price, or whatever it may well be, plans, whatever. Kind of give it a meaningful title, and then talk about what's on that page is in your description. If you just, in the back of WordPress, I think there's still just the keywords feature, and if you just stuff a load of keywords in there, Google won't take a notice anyway. So that it recognises it's there, but it has no real bearing now kind of on your search results. So you can put it in, but it doesn't really do anything. So if that's your approach, then you definitely need to kind of do a bit more research and learning. Have a look at the Google digital marketing course as well. It's free, and it tells you how to do all this type of stuff. It's that's something you can easily do. Again, I'll make sure I remember to put the link to that in the show notes. I was going to say something else about keywords as well, but I can't
go on,
remember.
Darren, and then I'll...
No, go for it.
No, I think the other thing as well is with the keywords and the hashtags that you're going to use, you need to run those same keywords through everything.
Yeah.
So the titles on your images on your website, like Darren said, the page titles in the meta descriptions within the content, but you also need to use them on social media as well. So within your social media posts, the hashtags that you use on social media, when you title your images on social media as well, within any like description, if you were to share like a video and stuff, when you post that natively on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, again, everything needs to go in there, and you need to make sure that you're using the same hashtags consistently all the way through. So the email campaign, the social media, the website, everything, the pay-per-click ads, if you're doing any paid for advertising, you need to make sure that the ones that you use are the same on every channel.
Yep. I think we'll plan to do an SEO podcast this year. I think it'd be really good to do that. Because it is a huge area. And even then, I don't think we'll cover everything in the podcast, but we'll try and do a kind of a good starter guide.
We should be able to, shouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's some great things there, but the stuff that Emma mentioned from the beginning about the creation side is absolutely huge. And, using tools like Canva, upload your photography there, and you can, if you've got plain backgrounds, you can kind of cleverly sort of change the backgrounds to suit sort of different posts, so you're not stuck with the same thing. And I think that also that people tend to get stuck on, well, what am I creating? And I think it's about going back to having a plan. So like Emma was talking about, kind of got all these kind of like key dates, and what Gemma was saying about that link to that website, which gives you kind of a lot of the key dates. But if you think about kind of the clocks change, Halloween, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Thanksgiving, last payday, there's absolutely loads of Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, all these different events. They're all reasons why you should be posting on social media, or you might have sales going out in emails, or you might have a message going on your landing page. You need to have graphics and that ready. You might not want to do it for every single event. That's absolutely fine, but you need to have a strategy and plan it out. So that's, for me, that's what I would do. I'd list them all out first, and then list all your best selling items, like Emma was saying. Look to last year. If you haven't got that, then obviously you're starting out afresh, so you could look to your competitors to see what they did last year. I think that's always a good thing to do. And then say, right, okay, we're going to pick up these products, so I need to photograph them. What's the discount? You don't even need to, you can just do the prep to get it ready and then put your prices in, your discounts at the last minute, but at least you know what your action plan's going to be, and you've got a lot of the work set up. Trying to do this all at the last minute, that's really stressful. And especially the photography side, and video is absolutely huge. If you've never done video before, definitely check out Vimeo, because it is paid. It's about £170 a year for their pro plan, but they've got a lot of videos that kind of the default kind of themes that you can choose, and you can manipulate, upload your own images and just put some text over. Same in Canva, you can do quick GIFs and animations and videos in there. That's another really powerful platform that you can use to create like some really impressive stuff, some really commercial stuff. So definitely check out those two platforms if that sounds good to you.
do yourselves a massive favour and just do as much planning as you can.
Yeah.
Planning and creation now, and you will reap the benefits. You will make that hay while the sun shines in December.
Yeah. And if Christmas isn't for you, like it isn't really for the business that I do. I mean, I can use it, but it doesn't really kind of work for me because most of my clients have got their heads down. So for me, that I'd be looking at January. So for customers that have had Christmas, maybe have not done very well, or maybe done amazingly well, and then want to kind of do better the next year, or see it as as a platform to springboard and to keep the success moving. So that for me, there's reasons why I need to look ahead to January. So that's what I'll be doing. And it's not just about creating the post. It's about, so what's my plan in terms of going out to talk to people, whether it's just webinars or email or socials or chatbots, all these different kind of tools. So have a look at what's around you, what you've got, and then utilizing each of those tools individually to kind of generate interest and engagement, for your business. I think it's definitely really important to think about holistically while you've got a little bit of time, so you get the plan together.
Thanks, though. I've written down a whole page of notes. So thanks. If no one else listens to this, I'm better off. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Brilliant. Is there anything else? Anything else anybody wants to kind of add for listeners? Anything you think we should have mentioned? I think we've kind of covered it all. I mean, supply chain was really important. I think the cardboard thing is a big thing here in the UK. So packaging has been on short supply. So I imagine that might be the same everywhere. Seasonal themes and colours as well. It's not always just red and gold, red and white. You might want to think out of the box. Like purple is a really nice colour because it's like luxury and people looking for deeper colours. Fashion, make sure you look ahead to the trends, what's going to be coming up.
Oh, we could even talk about that for hours. There is so much about Christmas trends and different kinds of the elements of hope coming through, the elements of DIY, the fact that people are going to have a Christmas like no other because they can celebrate together for the first time. All of that is
of course.
There is so much about the kind of but people need to go and do the research that suits their market and their aesthetic. But please, everybody, get on your SEO, get on your planning, and have a successful and profitable Christmas.
Fabulous. Well, I think we'll leave it there then. I think there's a massive list of for actions for everybody. I hope you found the podcast useful. Let us know if you've used any of the tips, and if you have any questions. All our contact details, social channels are in the show notes. Just make sure you do hit subscribe to receive the next episode automatically. We'll be back with a podcast about influencer marketing coming up shortly, within a couple of weeks' time. Special guest is Instagram tag @theonlygirlinthegaff. So if you want to go and check them out first, we'll be discussing how to get started with influencer marketing, why you should do it, pitfalls and the positives. So it's going to be a really great interview. So make sure you listen to that. But until then, keep well.
Happy Christmas.
See you later. Bye.
Happy Christmas.